It's got stereo inputs and outputs. It's got a MIDI in jack, MIDI through jack. This one is delay, so it's got all the delay accoutrement, tap tempo, beat divisions, yeah, anything that you would expect in a quality delay pedal. So it's powerful out of the box and get a lot of sounds, but one of the things that really separates us and makes us different is our Neuro app. There's a mobile version. There's also a desktop version. I'm going to be using the desktop version because I can do a nice screen grab. I have a nice screenshot set up so you can see what I'm doing. But what the Neuro editors allow you to do is, first off, with the delay pedal, for example, there's a bunch of, there's the 12 delays that are on the face of the pedal, but there's another, I think, 12 delays that you can grab in the app, and you can upload them to the center effects dial, or you can upload it to one of the 128 presets that are in the pedal. There's also a lot more parameters that you can adjust. And, basically you can sort of create the exact pedal that you need and upload everything directly into the pedal. Another cool thing about the Neuro app is that when you make a preset, you can publish it and share it with anybody else who has a Nemesis delay. And obviously you can download any presets that anybody else has published. So right now we've got up nearly 4,000 presets between all our pedals, which is a lot. So when you get one of our pedals, it'll keep you busy for a long time. And it's a lot of fun, just tons of great sounds in there. So let's dive into it. I'm going to start with just showing you a couple of sounds in our Ventris dual reverb. Now, the reason it's called a dual reverb is because there are two signal processors in it. Two signal processors gives us, certain advantages. It's more processing muscle, so we can just get much more detailed with all of our reverb engines. Also, it allows us to do adjustable spillover time. So if you change from one preset to another, the original preset will fade naturally, and you can start using the new preset that you've pulled up as the old one fades out. And most importantly, you can combine two reverbs and run them simultaneously. You can run them in parallel, which means that they're both running side by side but not affecting each other. They're mixed together, but they're not affecting each other. They're both affected by the incoming signal. You can also run them, cascade them, or run them in series, as we call it. And that is the same thing as if you had two reverb pedals on your pedal board, one running into the other. So the second reverb in the signal chain is, hearing both the reverb and the dry signal from the sound in front of it. So it's just a different approach. So let's jump in and just hear a couple sounds. I'm quickly going to go through a couple of the sounds on here. So this is a basic room reverb. Let me adjust this thing a little bit. I'm going to turn the mix down. There we go. And I can do different things on this. Obviously, there's a time control, so I can really stretch those reverbs out, make them linger for a long time. I can also add modulation to these reverbs. So I just turn that up. Now you'll hear a little movement in the reverb trail. Another cool thing is pre-delay. Now what pre-delay does is add a little space between your dry signal and the first reflections of your reverb. So if I crank the pre-delay up, you'll hear it's almost like a delay. So, but I like to set the pre-delay back a little bit, just to give it a natural feel of like bouncing off a wall that's, you know, in a big room. All right, so while I have a nice room reverb sound, how about we jump into the Ventris for a little bit, and I'll just show you the Ventris pedal interface and some of the basic concepts. They actually carry over to some of the other pedals. So like I said, the Ventris is dual DSP. That means that we can create dual reverb sounds. So I'm going to, so I've got this room sound that has some pre-delay, so you hear that sort of reflection a little later than you hear the dry signal, you know, like so. Control the mix a little bit. Okay, so that's a nice sound. So now for my B reverb, I'm going to try to add, to just fill in that space, you know, between the dry signal and the first reflections of the room reverb, just to kind of make it feel a little fuller, because you know, in a real setting, you will hear, you know, very quick reflections, as well as the sound of maybe your guitar bouncing off of the far wall. So I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to use a Hall reverb based on a Lexicon Hall, just a nice lush 80s style reverb. Okay, that's a very nice sound. Pre-delay all the way down. Make sure I get enough lingering. Maybe I'll use Control 1 and 2 to add a little modulation. Okay, so now if I use this little toggle switch, see, when I was adjusting the B reverb, all of my A reverbs remained where they were. So if I go to A plus B, now I'm getting both of these reverbs in parallel. So I'll show you how to do series in just a little bit. But so now when I am in A plus B mode, these three controls actually become like a little mixer. So I want my dry signal to be sort of unity gain. So I turn the mix all the way up. It just gives me full dry signal. And you see if I turn down Control 1 and Control 2, completely dry. So let's add in some of that B reverb, which is the Hall, nice lush sound. And then I'll dial in the late reflections of the room reverb with Control 1. So you can hear that late reflection coming in. Beautiful. Now if I want to save that again, I just hold down my save button till the little LED starts to blink. And I've saved an A plus B reverb in preset number 1. Now like I said, that is running in parallel, so both reverbs are responding to the dry signal equally and they are not mixing in with each other. If I wanted to run it in series, what I would do is there's a little control input button at the top here, I would just hold that down, go to my A reverb, switch back to A plus B, and now I am in series mode, which doesn't sound terribly different, but you know, in other cases, like if you were putting a swell reverb in front of something, then you might want to do something like, you know, run a reverb in series. Very nice. So let's move on. The enormo dome. So this is one of the favorites from this pedal. And the enormo dome is just, it's called the E dome, actually, short for a normal dome. And it's just a massive, super lush reverb. So let's really crank this thing up. Okay. That is a nice one. Let's move on to the next. And let me show you, yeah, while I'm at it, I'll show you how the spillover works. We're going from the enormo, which is going to linger for a long time, and I'm going to move over into the spring reverb. And you can hear it'll start, you know, applying spring reverb as the enormo dome fades out. So let's try a different key. And spring reverb is really one of Bob Chidlow's masterpieces, I think. It just, you know, uses the full might of the processor because, you know, spring reverb is a pretty archaic technology. In amps, you know, it's a great, great sound. But, you know, basically you're shooting your guitar signal into a spring tank. There's just 2 or 3 springs and the sound bounces back and forth and you mix that together with your dry sound. So pretty archaic, but very hard to do in a pedal. And I think that, you know, I don't think you're going to find a better spring reverb sound in a pedal than this one. Very nice. So, oh, here's one. I just got to show you this one. This is the Offspring, which is just a sound that you're really not going to find anywhere else. It's basically it takes the reverb trail, dices it up into different frequency bands, and cascades through them. So you get almost like this delay kind of a sound. So check it out. Yeah, that's a fun one. Okay, let's move on. This is one of my favorites. This is an example of dual reverb, a dual reverb. So this is actually using the shimmer effect, which is a pretty popular effect among reverbs. Basically, it just creates this angelic kind of a sound by doing these octave up shimmer reverbs. And but with this, we're actually running 2, And with our shimmer, you can go into the Neuro editor and change the pitch of the shimmer. So this one runs one shimmer at an octave up and another at an octave down. So basically, you get this. Yeah, love it. Okay, so very cool sound. But I'm going to jump off on a little tangent here, and I'm going to show you first my entire board setup, and then I also want to show you how to take this seesaw octave sound and tweak it a little bit more, and maybe create a new preset with it, which we can then publish for a bunch of other people to try out. So if you look down at my board, you'll see I've got this Neuro hub down here. Now, this allows me to run the whole board in MIDI. So as I mentioned before, like our bigger boxes and our EQ2 have dedicated MIDI plugs on the side. However, if I want to use MIDI to control some of our smaller boxes like the Gemini Chorus, LA Lady, C4 Synth, I want to pick up this Neuro hub, which goes for about $99 US. And I've got all 5 of these pedals on the top plugged in to the hub. There's these 5 little cables down here. They are 1/4-inch TRRS cables, and they are all connected to the top of each of these pedals. And what this allows me to do is just go in, like I've got this seesaw, but if I wanted to, I could just add some distortion, and I can dial it in how I like. I'm not sure how this is going to sound. Just a bit meatier. How about a little chorus? Why not? Very cool. And now, since I'm connected to the hub, all I have to do to save this entire sound is just press and hold the save button down here. You can see all the lights blinked. Now if I go away from it and come back to that preset, boom. Ventris, Gemini Chorus, LA Lady, all in the same preset. Very nice. Okay, but let's take it a little further. I'm going to turn these off. And let's go into the Neuro editor, and I'll show you the basic setup of the Neuro editor and how I can create a new preset and export it for anybody else who wants to use it to try. So I turned off the chorus, the LA Lady, and let's jump into the Neuro desktop editor. So here it is, and I've got you can connect, it connects with a USB cable that goes, out of your computer into either the mini USB on the tops of each of these pedals. So at the top of, all of our pedals, there's a mini USB. But in this case, since I'm connected to the hub, I've got my USB plugged into the hub. And you can see it's listed over here, and all the pedals that are connected are listed below it. So I'm going to go to my device. So was editing the seesaw octaves. So I'll bring that up. Oh, and I've got that. I'm going to disengage because I made that preset with the chorus and the LA Lady. I'm going to get rid of those. And I'm just going to make a new preset with the seesaw octave. So I click that, and you can see it opened this entire new editing interface. So yeah, this center panel is your sound editor. Over here it just lists all the pedals that are connected. But this is where all the action happens. So I just thought it might be cool to do a dual shimmer sound. But instead of using the octave down, how about we change the pitch to a down a fourth, perfect fourth. So that's the same as a fifth up, but it's a nice effect. So let's hear that. Definitely a different effect. But still very nice. So I'm going to go down here so you can see I've got my two reverbs. This is the Engine A reverb, and I can select from any of my different reverb engines. You know, we've got the ones that are on the pedal like the Room and the Hall, but there's some additional ones like this Outboard Spring is a really drippy reverb based on old, Fender outboard spring effects, and Metal Box, which is a fun one that just replicates the sound of a guitar in a small like metal holding container or storage container. But anyways, we're working with shimmer, so that's what we've chosen. So you can see I've got all these additional controls down here. So I want to just adjust the mix a little bit. So that's my fourth, but let's turn that up. And how about we add some pre-delay so that fourth comes in kind of a little later. Can add some diffusion, which just kind of really smears that sound. Makes it just a little bit more hazy. I'm going to add some, what would it sound like with some pitch shift modulation. Maybe a little less. Okay. So, I'm pretty happy with this sound. How about we just try an octave down on this one? Ooh, I like that a lot. Very church organy. Okay. So let's save that preset. I'm going to hit my Save As button, and this little box comes up. And in this box, I can rename this preset and put it in a different location. You'll see actually over here, in this preset section, this is where I've stored all my presets in my hub. You can see I've got all my Ventris dual reverb presets up here in numbers 1 through 9. But I'm going to create a new one. Now let's just call this Heavenly. And we're going to move it down to preset number 10. Save it. You can see, there it is. Heavenly. Now, you can see I can go from my, up here is my Offspring sound, so just Whoops. But now let's bring Heavenly back up. Very nice. Okay, so what I want to do is save this heavenly sound to the cloud, to the Neuro community, so that anybody can use it. Now the thing is, I can't do this through the hub, so I'm going to connect my Ventris directly to the Neuro desktop editor. So I'll just do that. Okay, so I've attached my USB directly to the Ventris, and you can see I've got my heavenly preset right here, and I'm going to save it again to the pedal. Preset 2. Okay, so I've got that preset. I'm going to go over here to Save to Cloud. You can see I've got my title. And I can also type in a description. So we'll call it a dual shimmer effect with octave down and perfect fourth. So if I wanted to, if I had recorded a YouTube clip, I will probably do that in a little bit and go back, because you can go and re-edit stuff after you've posted it. I'll probably post a SoundCloud link. You just go in the embed section of SoundCloud and post it right in this little section here that says YouTube SoundCloud link and save it. But I don't have it right now, so let's just save and publish. And there it is. So you can see, if I'm over in my cloud, there's two options over here on the preset side. You can either go to presets, and you'll see all the presets that you have in the pedal that is connected, or you can go to cloud and see all the presets that everybody has posted. There's 4 tabs. There's community. That is all of the presets that everyone has posted. So let me clear this. Yeah, you can see my heavenly preset. And this is also listed on our website. I can go to my Neuro presets section, and this is basically a feed of all the Neuro presets that are currently available. And right at the top, we've got Heavenly, which I just posted. So if I had posted a YouTube or a SoundCloud, it would have been over here. Let's see if anybody's posted a link. Yep, this guy, Trippy Sequence, has posted a link. So if I hit play over here, I can hear what his preset sounds like. Sounds like a nice recording. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's jump into the collider. This pedal right here. So what we did for the collider is we took basically what we viewed as the most popular presets or engines in the Nemesis and the Ventris and put them together. We wanted to make a pedal that for people, you know, gigging musicians especially, who just wanted to have a lot of power in a small space and just get, you know, a real rack quality reverb and delay in one small pedal. It doesn't have as much power in the back end on the Neuro app. There aren't as many engines available, but there's just a ton you can do on the face of the pedal by combining reverbs and delays. So let me jump up to I've got some collider presets programmed in here, kind of far away, but here we go. So this combines a tape delay and a spring reverb. So the collider is super easy to edit on the fix. So you've got this little toggle switch over here. And delay, you just switch over to delay. I'm going to turn off my reverb, so I'm just getting my delay. And I can select which delay type I want to use. You'll see as I turn the knob, I'm only changing the delay. I don't know if you can see that from the camera angle, but that's what's happening. So I'm just going to turn up to the oil can delay because I like it. And let's put it pretty high in the mix. Let's make it pretty tight, pretty fast, and a lot of repeats. Okay, I like that. So let's move on to reverb. I'm going to use this spring reverb. And now that I've switched the toggle switch over to the reverb side, all of the knobs control just the reverb. And the delay sounds, or all the delay settings, will stick to where they are. I can turn on my reverb. I'll turn off my delay. And how about we do a room sound? I'll just go for something pretty basic. I want a little less of it. I want to ring out a little, not too long. And actually the delay knob, when you're using a reverb, is pre-delay. So I'm going to set pre-delay all the way off. I think I want a little more. I can add a little modulation. Actually, no modulation. So now, all I have to do to get my delay is hit that switch. See, I can turn my reverb off. Turn it back on. Turn my delay off. Back on. I can also use this switch as a tap tempo. So if I want to slow it down, there it is. It's going on for a long time. Let's slow it back down. Okay, very cool. So now, if I want to save that preset, all I do is press and hold the save button, and boom, it is saved to preset 1. Okay, let's move on a little bit. So this is a nice preset. This is called Grand Worship Vibe Space, and I actually took it from somebody in the neuro community who posted it. I think his name is Hick Vienna, and just a great sound, just really massive. Let's add a little more feedback to the reverb, just so it really just stays there for a long time. nice. So how about I take this opportunity to show you how you can quickly download presets that other people have created. So let's go to the Neuro editor. So right now I've selected the device over here in the top left-hand corner of the preset side. But if I go into Cloud, suddenly I've got all of these presets that were created by people in the neuro community. And I can organize them by date, or I can use this little sort control down here and organize them by the most popular. So you're able to do things like, you can like or download a preset, and that sort of ups its popularity and it gets to the top of this favorites list. So there's some good ones in here. Yeah, Pete Thorne did a video for this, and he made some great sounds. He's got this, what is this? This is a tape delay and spring sound. So if I just hit that, I want it in the current preset, yes. Okay. So that's nice. That's a nice tape delay and spring reverb sound. Let's go to some of the newer stuff and see what's going on out there. Schwimmer. I don't know what this is, but let's see what happens. Okay, that's nice. It's like a nice swelling reverb, which is fun. So, if I like that, I can just press and hold this, and I can actually move it to a different preset. So I press and hold it for a second, release, and then I can scroll through, go over, whoops, to preset 2, press and hold it, and that preset got saved to preset 2. Very nice. Okay, and so let's move on. So this is a neat feature in this pedal. As I said before, you can do a delay and a reverb together, but you can also do 2 delays or 2 reverbs at the same time. So that is done with the unlock feature. So basically I've got this preset set up with 1 tape delay and 1 analog. They're split. One is going to one side of the stereo. The other is going to the other side of the stereo split. And you can hear I can turn one off, and now I'm just going to get the quarter note hits. You hear it on one side. Now if I add the second one, now you get that bouncing dotted eighth feel, and it's going to bounce back and forth. So you can play a lot of classics with that one. Okay, very cool. So let me show you how to unlock the pedal. Pretty simple process. So let's say, okay, I'm over here. Let's go to a different preset, this oil can sound. So I've got oil can on one side and true spring on the other, but let's say I want to add something to my oil can delay. So you'll see, if I'm on reverb and I turn, I can't go any further. I can't go into the delay section. But if I hold down this little button at the top of the pedal and then spin it, then I've unlocked the pedal. See, now I'm in the delay section. And I'm going to let's have some fun with this. Let's run an oil can delay together with a reverse delay. So with reverse, you always want to, or I like to crank the delay time way up and turn the regeneration down. That just gives you that real psychedelic feel. Let me add some distortion and just see what happens here. So that's kind of fun. Fun for me. Maybe it's fun for you to hear. Okay. So moving on. So that was an example of two delays running in parallel. So both responding to the same incoming signal. But I can also run it in series. So one going into the next. So what I've got in this one, this swell reverb, is I've got a swell running into a shimmer. So you'll hear, like if I just play the swell, I'm getting that kind of a thing. Now if I add the shimmer, then it really, you get that nice gradual swell followed by the nice angelic shimmer. Very nice. All right, so now let's get into the C4 synth, which is really brought the neuro community to life because there's just so many different kinds of sounds you can create with it. People have been creating tons of presets. You can easily grab any of those presets, load them to your C4, and or if you want, you can go in and create your own presets. It's a lot of fun. The pitch response is just
Bueno, muchísimas gracias a
awesome.
Jeff
You
Macalac,
can really move,
especialista
move
de
and
Source Audio, por esta increíble
bass players
clínica
especially
que
are
nos dio
huge
sobre
fans
cómo
of
ecualizar nuestros pedales.
the pitch
Les recordamos
detection.
a todos los que nos acompañaron en esta transmisión que van a poder descargar la aplicación Neuro para computadora, tanto para sistemas iOS como para sistemas Windows, completamente gratuita. Además van a poderlo descargar para iPhone o para Android, igualmente gratuito. Van a poder encontrar estas aplicaciones dentro de nuestro sitio web de Source Audio de la Expo. En los links en la parte inferior van a estar los dos links de descarga, tanto para Play Store como para App Store. Les volvemos a recordar que vamos a tener más eventos aquí en Showcase y Main Stage, directamente en Expo Gonher. .mx. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Soy Arturo Miranda, especialista de Source Audio en México.